Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey. And I'm here with my partner, my co-host, the editor of the Downey Patriot, Eric Pierce. And you're here listening, you're watching Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric. How are you, Mario?
I'm doing great, big guy. How are you?
Doing good. There's no summer recess for us.
There's no summer recess for us.
It's we're in the middle of summer. Uh-huh. It's kind of slow and quiet in Downey, which is good.
Yeah.
But we're still here. We're still going.
We can't cancel ours and go to some other faraway state, can we?
No. So as of this recording, usually today there will be a city council meeting in Downey, and I love city council meetings because it gives us content to talk about.
Right.
But you know, it's where your local government is in action. Mm-hmm. But the city council canceled the meeting. The council actually, it looks like they're in New York City for a NALEO conference.
Oh, that's the National Association of Latino Elected Officials.
Yeah. Did you ever attend a conference?
I went to one. On my 8 years, I went to one. And it was too big. It was national issues, and it was all big things on there. I was asked to join their board a couple of years ago, but then you had to raise money for it and so forth. So, I mean, I assume they do good things on there, but how many of them are there, the council members?
I know definitely two.
Okay.
Our mayor, Claudia Fermetta, is on the board.
Okay.
And I know Mayor Pro Tem Mark Trujillo is there. I don't know if about Councilman Sosa or Horn. I don't know.
Well, just by having two, you're right. There's only 4 in the council right now, so I can't have a count. That's interesting. It's kind of sad. Interesting.
Interesting. Why?
Well, I never missed 190 consecutive council meetings. I never missed, and I don't know. I think the people's business sometimes is more important than a particular conference, especially. I don't know. I don't want to put them down for it because I went to other conferences.
But I agree with you.
You know.
I think, a city council meeting is part of your responsibility. It's the most basic form of local government. And it's actually kind of a bummer to see that there's no meeting today. I've been covering city council meetings here in Downey since 2002, and I don't remember a summer recess ever happening in Downey.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it ever happening.
I came the day after I had pretty big surgery, and I still came to the meeting. I mean, we condensed it and went fast, but I thought it was important, especially the public. Anyways, I'm not going to put them down. It is what it is. But you're right. We talk about other things and so forth. So we did have a DDIA meeting yesterday, which we learned a couple of new things.
Yeah, so DDIA is the Downtown Downey Improvement Association. It's basically Downtown Downey. We talked about it before. It's like downtown businesses and property owners.
Right.
I thought the most interesting. These meetings are open to the public also too. The most important or interesting takeaway that I got was the construction on 3rd Street. It's nearing completion, and it should be wrapped up by around September-ish, they're saying. Yeah. And that means with a whole new repavement too.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. So Jessica Flores represents the city. She's on the board there, and we asked for an update, and she was able to give us that. So yeah, that is exciting because construction, you're kind of like, okay, you hold your breath, and you're kind of like, okay, it needs it. You're glad they're doing it, and then at some point it's like, okay, when is it going to be finished? So now at least we have an end date.
Because we see it every day. It's right outside your office, outside the Downey Patriot office on Downey 3rd, and it's just they're working hard on it. Right. It's a lot of work, but it's been going on for a while. You kind of want to see.
So that'll move on there. Hey, trust me, where we're sitting right now, my office was on the other side that year when all the Firestone things. So I literally got to see it, and I was on the council, got to look down and see it, all the construction going on. So that was kind of interesting. The other thing that came up there we talked about was the farmers market. We got criticized. I did too, and just because I was vocal about the goodness of working with the farmers market. I love the farmers market. But a few months ago, there was this big brouhaha that, well, we were closing the farmers market, which of course wasn't true. All there was, a DDIA wanted to work with the farmers market to make it better, because we're I'm a board member only. The rest of the association kind of are, working on the downtown. And now it's like, when we asked, farmers market doesn't want to move to Downey Avenue. That was the end of the discussion. It's like, well, that was the whole point of it. We want to have discussions.
Right.
So I'm glad it's coming back up again to have the discussion, because I think the businesses, that's happily surprised me yesterday, right?
Yeah, that was interesting to hear that Downey Avenue businesses want the farmers market back on Downey Avenue.
Yeah.
It's good for their business. It brings people into their stores, and it brings traffic to them, traffic to them. So they want it there. I think that's a very important consideration when you're talking about where the market should be located.
Right.
And I think also the thing about Downey Avenue is that you have room for expansion.
Right.
Where it's located right now, the parking lot, you're basically built out.
That's
so
it. That's it. There's no more growth possible for the farmers market. So why not consider it there? So I think that, and then how it was left with the DA, they were going to talk to the city management again, because the last thing the city management said, hey, farmers market, DDIA, you guys talk together, and we'll kind of work with you both. So that hasn't happened. So at least, we'll move that forward and stuff like that.
I think, from the DDIA standpoint, I think they want to do what's best for the businesses and the property owners, which is the reason that the DDIA exists. And so I think there has to be some more dialogue between the two.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing is, it's going to go up before the council. The next couple of months are getting bids on for the big sign over that everybody, like, oh my God, we're spending all this money on this sign, and we're not. It's public arts.
The archway.
It's the archway sign, and it's like public arts money, and so it's not. You can't use it for homeless. You can't hire a new police officer. It's set aside for that.
Yeah.
But it's exciting that it's going forward.
It's going to be a game changer, and we were talking timelines. Best case scenario, it could be. Next summer, next spring, next summer.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably take longer than that, but best case scenario, because it has to be designed and then built and installed.
Yeah. And it's bidded out right now.
Right.
And they're going to get like 4 or 5 bids, and and then designs and all this other stuff. So.
Tomorrow, this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game changer. It's going to give downtown Downey an identity.
Yeah.
It's going to be a landmark.
Yeah.
And I know it's expensive, but you said this is money specifically allocated for these type of projects.
Yeah.
It's not coming out of the police budget, homelessness or whatever.
Yeah.
It's for these kind of projects. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I just hope it looks okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be up to us. I mean, we have a say, the downtown district. It's not just us, but the city council, the downtown, and the city council ultimately approves it. But it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm sorry. This has been... I'm a small little clog of it, but, since 2007, I've been on the downtown subcommittee when I was the elected official. I've been pushing for this time, all this time. And after we get the downtown specific plan, which kind of blew it all up in a good way, then it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. It's really going to happen, Eric. I mean, it really could happen. Let's put it that way.
You know what worries me is I don't know, 10 years ago, the city put up these signs for the Space Center, the Columbia Memorial Space Center, like
brown.
They're brown and they're ugly.
Yeah,
it's the most ugly sign I've ever seen. I think they're up like on Bellflower, Lakewood,
and
that
Imperial.
area.
There's some
Imperial.
And what I was told was, well, that's the sign for public museums or something like that. Like, really? Is that a law?
They're like the ugliest. If you guys haven't seen them, check them out. They're on Imperial. They're surrounding the Space Center. Yeah. They're the ugliest signs I've ever seen.
They are. So, well, hopefully we'll have a say, and we can lobby our council. The council,
they want something good.
Yeah, they want something nice. And the whole key is about naming it Downtown Downey. It'll be a selfie place, but it also identifies it. Hopefully it'll be right here that people can see it coming down coming down Firestone, driving by, and then also because downtown is just not that little street there, right? It encompasses bigger. So you start here.
It's a few blocks around.
Yeah, and it opens it all up. And on there. And we're going to have some new businesses right now. You got, there's 3 on Downey Avenue that are in construction, almost finished, right? Or just finished on there. We're going to have, what's interesting is, and I'm going to get criticism for you bringing it up.
I know what you're going to say.
But it is in the downtown district. Ojos Locos on Firestone Boulevard that's being built, almost done now.
Look, and it looks nice.
So it does look nice.
I'm sorry.
It does look nice out there. Okay, don't tell anybody, but when they open up, let's go there for lunch and let's check it out. And we'll do a sneaky, maybe we'll wear a mask, okay? And then we'll do a sneaky thing and at least, give a report on it, okay?
Right.
And so bring your measuring tape because we have to measure the waitress's cleavage.
Which, according to city code.
According to city code, yeah. Don't write to me about that. Right. According to city code.
But I'm not saying that I support them or whatever, but I am saying that because the whole issue was the dress code,
the dress code, and the type of business it was going to be.
But there's a handful of other businesses in Downey. I'm not going to say any names, but they're if not as bad, as they're more risque. So I do think some of the criticism has been kind of overblown, heavy-handed.
Yeah, no kidding. So what else is going on? Oh, I got attacked, and I say that very loosely.
I want to ask you about this, Mario. Let me ask you. So let me set this up because you're kind of involved in it. So I'm not really on Facebook too much anymore, but I was a couple of days ago, and I noticed that there was a video. Somebody posted a video. It was a in 20s. He posted a video making some accusations against you, calling you a bully, and there's some political things tied to it. I want to ask you what happened. What is it? What happened?
So, I am at Porto's. I'm having lunch with an Army major. Okay, we're just having lunch, minding our own business.
Right here in Downey.
And right here in Downey, just next door, and we're the second table in. So this young man that had worked on several campaigns, including the recall. I mean, he had been here to my office to pick up his check, and so forth. So he's walking by, he sees me, and he waves at me, I wave back. Then he comes over to my table. He goes, well, I just want you to know that this is the goofy election time, I guess. It's already started. He goes, I just want you to know that I'm not supporting Dorothy Pemberton in District 3 because I feel she was too involved in the campaign. And I said, well, she was not too involved. She led the campaign, the recall campaign. That's a good thing. Yeah, but I don't think that's a good thing. So I'm going to support this other person, has as much as volunteerism as Dorothy. I literally laugh like, well, Dorothy's been doing it for 30 years. She's been with, the YMCA chair, the Seroptimus, the Little League, all these other things. But okay, that's great. That's your opinion, and I don't agree with you. Well, a person really is, and I go, okay, I don't agree with you, but that's okay. And so you don't agree that Dorothy shouldn't because she ran the thing? I go, no, I don't agree. So the whole time I'm sitting down, he's standing above me like this. And then he goes, well, we'll have to wait to see what the election is. So I'm like, great. And that was it. Didn't think anything about it. Go on with the Army discussion with my Army major that was sitting right there. Didn't think anything of it. Go on, we live another day. And the next day I see this video of him posting how I bullied him. Well, and then he wrote in there that I was pointing at him. I was in his face, my finger. I'm sitting down. He's standing over me.
And he approached you.
And he approached me. I'm sitting there minding my own business, having lunch on there. So then I watched it again. So I commented on it on the Facebook. I said, by the way, I'm sorry you feel this way, but that's just not true. And then there's somebody else that wrote on there, go, I'm sorry, but that's just not true. Here's what really happened. So that carried on a whole discussion with another crazy person that we know in Downey started commenting on goofy things. Here's the 778-page Downey PD manual, and you better be careful. And then I'm like, what does this mean? And this guy that we all know has things in his closet and everything else. But he was like threatening me. He's through the city before, or one of the council people and stuff like that. So he's a little kooky in his own right. But it went back and forth. Oh, you had nothing to do with the first recall, and because he was going to run for this council seat. And I said, well, I was on January 4th, 2022. I was there with the group, the volunteers, when we took in the first set of signatures, right? That they were 34 short. He goes, there was no count on the whole thing. So then, of course, on the thing, I'm a smart aleck. I'm pretty organized. So I just went to it. I have a photo on there, so I put the photo. And then I go, by the way, here's the photo of the second one. Here's the photo of the thing. Because we ran into him. He was really embarrassing. He went there to pull papers on the same day, and he just got caught. He thought it was over, and he was just going to pull papers to run. So he didn't know anybody knew that until we were there, and we saw him on there. Anyways, so it goes back and forth. And I just wasn't going to let somebody lie. I know. I probably went too far, and I went a little Cuban on him. But, just the facts, man. Just the facts. So anyways, my whole point in this is that, oh my gosh, crazy season is here already.
Crazy political season.
Yeah. I'm minding my own business. And now I'm called the bully because I'm eating lunch in Porto. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was even a later lunch. So whatever, folks, I'm sorry. And I do think Dorothy Pemberton, I am supporting her. Yes, she led the recall. No, there's nothing wrong with her running for it. And especially, she should be given the credit. When I asked, did the other person support the recall or walk on behalf of the recall? I think he said he supported it. Okay, that's great then. Anyways, so if there's things online about me, I try not to be a bully. I bully Eric because he bullies me, and he's mean to me sometimes. So he doesn't like it. Watch this. When I say downtowny. He gets mad at me when I say the word downtowny.
But no, Mario, here's my thing is I don't care who other people are supporting in elections.
Yeah.
Like me as a private citizen, I'm willing to obviously support candidates I think are going to do the best for the city. But if you're supporting somebody or XYZ is supporting somebody, I don't care. I don't care who they're supporting. And you don't need to come up to me and tell me who you're supporting because I don't care. Maybe I should. I don't care. Do your own research and make your own informed decision. But I think these people, it's just the worst of it. And I think, especially on social media, I think, it's people are just way too comfortable just spouting nonsense on social media. They just feel emboldened. They feel smarter than they really are. And it gets tiresome.
It's funny is I don't usually respond to social media stuff about me unless it's a bold, flat out lie. This young man and then the other person on there that, should know better, he's a lawyer and stuff, should have known better. But he's just making stuff up. It was just flat out lies and stuff, right? Or misinformed. Maybe not lies, maybe informed. I'm going to watch my word because he sues people for fun, and stuff like that. So it was silly. I was embarrassed for him, and I was embarrassed for the young man. So I left it at that. He was smart enough not to respond anymore. Once I told him, as you know, it wasn't true. But the other guy kept going on and kept going on.
I hope this isn't an indication of what political season is going to look like in Downey over the next 3 months, 4 months, or whatever it is. But I have a feeling it's going to get ugly. And we have 2 races in Downey, District 1 and District 3. And I think both are going to get ugly. They already have. It's getting there. But I think it's a shame. It's a shame because people are smart enough to make an informed decision on their candidates. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so far we know 4 declared, 2 and 2, at least officially declared. 2 in each in this.
And we'll get some surprises.
We will. Yeah. We'll get some on there as the election things. But we'll know the full slate in 3 weeks. Yeah. This is the middle of July, so in early August is when people can officially pull papers.
Right.
So it's kind of funny. I've been told a couple of people said, "Oh, you can't pull papers. You can't announce that you're running until you pull papers and stuff. And I go, oh, you got a lot of people misleading you then.
Yeah.
Because you can announce you're running anytime.
You can announce, you can knock on doors, you can campaign.
Yeah. You can raise money if you file a committee.
You got to follow the rules.
All those things on there have nothing to do with filing papers. So there's also, I love this part. There's also people that maybe helped in one election or tasted something in one election, and now they're experts. And there's a few tidbits that I'm not going to say right now that make an election, make it that you have to do or you should do.
Right.
And they're not doing it. Everybody's getting focused in different directions, and it's just silly. It's like, if you go to that thing, is that really going to get you any votes? Okay, because you should be doing this instead. Right. And those are the tidbits. But people that don't know about elections will tell a candidate and like they're experts, and they really don't know. That doesn't. If it doesn't get you a vote and it doesn't get you a name recognition on it, don't do it. Don't do it. So especially a short window.
Yeah, it is a short window. You know what I tell people is, if you want to run for city council, run. It's your democratic right. Run. You don't need approval from people. Right. I think there's some people who are scared to run because maybe they feel like they need, endorsements, or they need approval from people. Right. You need approval from nobody except maybe your family. Right. But run. I think that's what makes it. I'm a sucker for local elections. Yeah. I love it when a candidate knocks on my door and we could talk about local issues. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome to me. Yeah, and you should run. You don't need to be independently wealthy, and you can just knock on doors and give it your best shot. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, and to me, that's the good part about local elections. I don't like when it's so polished. And you have the polished candidate, who's running. It could be, it's not supposed to be your full-time job, You're volunteering your time. And so run. If you want to run. You still have, 3 weeks to get papers and to qualify for it.
You can't. And then there's some people that like to say that they're running because they like the attention, or some people that like the attention of it. And it is. It's hard work to run. I'm telling you, for these 3 or 4 months, you're tired. It's a lot of work.
If you actually campaign.
If you do it the right way, if you really want to win, you're being exhausted every day. Okay. And then when you get on there, it's what you make out of it. There's, if you don't plan on doing it the right thing when you get on there, if you're just going to go down there and go to council meetings every 2 weeks, really don't do it. Don't do it, because most of the work is done not at the council meeting. It's done the interaction with the citizens.
It's talking to residents.
And then interaction with the city staff, carrying that forward when you get texts and emails from the city folks on there to talk to the city staff. So if you're really going to want to do it as public service, and by the way, you don't make a lot of money. It's the public service aspect of it in the city of Downey is legitimately public service.
Well, you get to travel to New York City.
New York City, yeah, I know. New York City and D.C. and and then the contract cities is in Indian Wells and San Diego, and then Santa Barbara and San Diego.
So there's some perks.
Some perks to it, yeah. But if you're going to do it for the perks, trust me, the Independent Cities Association, which I was president of, and I'm telling you, you have to these meetings once a month on there in downtown LA, and then you have to meet with the staff before, and then you got the budget subcommittee for it. It's like it is its own entity. Yeah. So you have to be there for all these different meetings. It's just like being on the council and a different council, and you're meeting with other elected official. I really like the people part of it, but it's time consuming too. So, when your annual conference then comes up in Santa Barbara, you think, oh, this is great. But the 8th year that you have to go because you're a board member, then you're president, I'm like, I don't want to go to Santa Barbara again. I know that sounds elitist, but
I'd rather be at home.
I'd rather be at home. Yeah. And it always happened during Super Bowl Sunday. So you have the breakfast meeting on Sunday down there, and you go to church there. We'd go to the mission, and then we're like coming home, and we could never have a Super Bowl party because we were just getting there home by the time the Super Bowl. Little things like that. Poor me. Oh, wow. Yeah. But it is. If you do it right, you give your time. Then there's some council members that don't show up to anything. And that's just the opposite, So if you're going to do it, do it right. I
Yeah.
mean, show up, be involved, be engaged, do the job of the people.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like Downey is in a better place right now than we were a year ago.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's so critical right now that we elect good, honest people.
Yeah.
Because we need to continue that progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whoever you believe those people are, that's up to you. But we need people on Downey who are honest and ethical. We need to get back to where we were, 8-10 years ago, because we've lost our way a little bit.
Yeah,
And I think we get caught up in the little political mudsling or whatever, but we can't lose sight of how important these elections are.
Oh, yeah.
We're filling 2 city council seats.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, they can align themselves with any one person on the council, and you have a council majority, which can then fire the city manager or hire a new city manager, or like what they did, fire Gilbert Levis. You know, so it's interesting. I look at it now, Eric. It's only been 4 months since we had the recall, and we booted somebody out of the city council for the first time. We haven't talked about that in a long time, and that's okay because we were so sick of talking about it for a year and a half. But what's funny is that person hasn't reappeared. There's been no thing, and instantly our community took a deep breath and went like, less drama. Less, worries, less everything. They go out and hire a city manager on there. Mr. Bradley seems like a decent man, and he goes to events and on there he's learning the city and so forth. But and he's hiring his staff and stuff. So
he's making a real effort to be part of the community.
Yeah, and that's something you and I talked about early on. So, anyways, I think our city is going to go in the right direction, but this election is really important. We weren't going to talk about elections today, but it turned out to be because there's 3 weeks to pull papers. We'll know all the candidates in 4 weeks. And then let's go, game on.
Yeah. And I think, and in each of the candidates, everybody needs to be held responsible.
Yeah.
For who they are. We have to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
I think for what they want to do for the city, and what they've done for the city, what they haven't done for the city.
And now we'll make this invitation now, and I think on there, every single one of the candidates, you can gladly sit here. And we'll do a show about you, and we'll ask you questions. We're going to be very fair. We have that credibility already when we did that for the assembly, and we had invited all the assembly members in, and we had every single one, and we were very fair to them on a question. It's not a gotcha, whatever. We're going to ask the same questions of everybody and kind of get an idea, but then let the voters decide. So right now, all the candidates, if you're watching this,
what would you want to know?
Well, I want to know, okay, why are you running?
Right.
Okay, what do you plan on doing? Give me some specifics on there. More specifics than public safety.
Exactly.
Because, yes, okay, we get it.
What does that mean?
By the way, you can't do anything about public safety unless the residents, 2/3 of it voted out. Okay,
right.
So, yes, you better darn well support public safety, but that's the mission of the city anyway. So,
but I think supporting public safety, we have to get more specific.
Yeah.
Do you commit to keeping Downey Police and Downey Fire?
Yeah. Tell me about the budgets. Were you willing to use reserves for ongoing expenses? That's a big deal to me as a resident on there. I understand one-time expenses, but that was kind of on there. What else specifics? Give me 3 specifics that you're going to do. And here's the interesting part. Sometimes the council member running for that, they really don't know.
Sure.
Okay, you get in there and then you're like, okay, I can't do that.
Right.
I mean, I think Catherine Alvarez found that out. Oh, I'm going to give free rent to everybody. Okay, well, you get in there.
That's not how it works.
You can't do that, okay? That kind of stuff. So I understand for some council members, they're going to think big, and that's okay too. But I want to know about you, why you're running, what are your goals, what are your specifics that you want to accomplish, what would be success at the end of 4 years, that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
So
would you support marijuana dispensaries in Downey?
that's a good question.
I want to know. Do they support it or not?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We want them on the record.
Yeah. There's a couple other things on there. So anyway.
Well, we'll come up with questions. And also, if you guys have questions, let us know.
Yeah.
But you're right. Everybody's going to be invited. We're talking down the road a little bit
Down the
more.
road. It'll be a couple
but it's
months.
going to come quick, and we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll look to see possibly another candidates forum on there. I don't know if we talked about it or what we're going to do. But a candidates forum like we did last time, maybe we'll talk to the Downey Patriot or the Chamber and see if they want to co-join us or not, whether they do or not. But, I think we were fair. I think even one politician last year said I was surprised, when I first heard that because I was supporting Claudia Fermetta, right? And there was 4 people running for that seat. And one of the politicians afterwards says, well, I was surprised here you were going to be doing one of the moderators, knowing, in fact, that you had supported her. And I just asked him, I go, did you think we were fair to you? And did you think we were fair to the questions and everything else that if you had known that you knew that on there? He goes, no, you guys were very fair. I wouldn't have known you supported her if I didn't know that. It'd be fair. Yeah. So that to me is the ultimate compliment because in that forum, we want to be totally fair. In this forum, we want to be totally fair. We get our hats off and now we're on the street. We can support whoever we want.
I remember, Mario, I don't know if you were running for re-election or if you were already on the council. It was either a forum or a town hall in District 3 on the island. There's a church there, and we had I say we, but there was like a forum in that church, and all the residents of the island came out, which I thought was very neat. Yeah, and that always stuck with me because I thought that was really kind of. Really nice to see the residents of that specific neighborhood so tuned in to what's happening in their community. Do you remember that?
I sure do. And the issue was Treasure Island Park. Okay. And they got with the things they were pushing for. That was like a neighborhood watch, the second one that we had. They were pushing for more patrols and the police. Crime was starting to come over a little bit from Bell Gardens into that. And in the park, because the park was full of hooligans and stuff, and it wasn't usable. It was just dried grass and whatever. Yeah. And as you know, and I'm proud to be part of that. I didn't do it alone, but I led that with the council. We have a beautiful Treasure Island Park. You can walk through it. There's barbecue. There's kid places to play on there. It's patrolled. It's closed lightly. So if anybody hasn't seen it, go to Treasure Island Park. That was a result of the residents, like you said, taking control and saying, this is what we want in our neighborhood. Yeah. So
if I can ever afford to live in a house in Downey, which I can't right now, it would be in the Treasure Island neighborhood. It really would be.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know other people have their favorite neighborhoods. Yeah. But the the island, it's like its own little enclave. Yeah. But it's Downey. Yeah. You're kind of out in the corner. It's Downey, but secluded.
It's more secluded. There's only two ways in.
A very close neighbor. The neighbors are very close with each other. It's just very nice and quiet. It seems like it would be a great place. Yeah. And then you just commute into work. Yeah.
It's so much of it is what you make out of it too with your neighbors. That is. The great people there. I've got to know them over the years. You're absolutely right. But I live on Yankee Street, right off of Reeves and Southwest Downey.
You have nice neighbors.
I have really nice neighbors. I really do. I mean, I have great neighbors. Well, down the street might be a different story. But my block, I mean, we used to have the block parties every 4th of July, just like Corey Street. We used to have the parades with all the kids and the bikes and decorating and stuff like that. But every single one of my neighbors whose house I can see is there to help me, and I'm there to help them. That's awesome. And on both sides, I share a driveway with one. They're both teachers, just great people. Both their kids they raised. One of them just graduated from Warren High. I'm like, oh my God, I remember when he was born, And then next to us, we have Sosie Gabriel. She's real involved in the real estate there. Her and her husband and their family grew up. It's awesome. We really are lucky that we have good neighbors, and we've heard from people that don't have good neighbors. Yeah. That's a pain in the neck. So I love my neighborhood and, going left, and I just know that my kids can play. They did play and stuff like that. So it's kind of what you make out of it. But you're right. Treasure Island's a great area. There's at least 10, 12, 15 locations here in Downey that would be really cool for families.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Good anything stuff, else, sir? Mario.
Yeah, considering we had nothing else to talk about
it's summer recess, but it's okay. We found something.
Yeah. We worked on summer recess.
We did. I know we don't get a break at all here.
Yeah. So
you work us like a dog, Mario.
I know. Yeah. There you go. And we want to thank Financial Partners Credit Union for doing this and for sponsoring us. There's other people that want to come on board, by the way, to sponsor us. And if you would like to be one of our sponsors, we have different ways. We could do short reels and different ways to talk about you if you're a Downey business to help promote them on there. But anyways, Financial Partners for a year and a half now has been a great partner. They've been here for 85 years. We were together at the chamber installation with Notter, and he's the CEO and chairman. And they're just great people, and we love to promote them. Credit unions are better than banks. So if you're a banker, I don't care. I do know a credit union is better than banks. So thank you, Financial Partners. We'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? We get some comments sometimes that make us laugh. And what directions on there? We're going to have more guests. We kind of have now planned out the rest of the year. We do want to be on location more. We're going to see some of those places that are controversial. Eric and I are going to do on-scene events and so forth. But anyways, I hope your 4th was good. And we'll see you guys in a week or so. And let us know your thoughts. So thank you for listening, for watching Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.